Join, wager, cash in, and get a $150 bonus. Sign up now at tvg.com.
As we inch closer to the Kentucky Derby, one of the most promising 2-year-olds that we saw last year was a horse by the name of Honor Code for trainer Shug McGahee. Obviously, Shug had the great moment there last year, winning his first Kentucky Derby with Orb, and now going to be 2 years in a row with Honor Code, a horse that's got breeding on top of breeding. Talk about a blue blood from the state of Kentucky, and his debut race was huge, but really this was the race that really set a lot of handicappers over the top here in the Rimps, and it was a really weird race because they had a really slow half mile. I think it was like 52 and change there for the half mile. And you're going to see Cairo Prince on the outside take the lead. At this point, Honor Code looks to pretty much finish second, maybe even third. But how about this kind of rebid along the inside? All heart here to come back along the inside and going to get the nose down there in the Rimps and somehow, wait on it, oh, got the nose down. I mean, I was watching that race live. I still don't know how Honor Code won that race. And Cairo Prince since then has come back to win the Holy Bull by 5+ lengths, which makes Honor Code look even better. Now, the thing with Honor Code is that early in the year, had to miss a little bit of training, which, you know, there's always going to be some hiccups along the road there to the Kentucky Derby. Luckily for the Shug McGahee camp, wasn't too big of a deal. And originally, they were planning on just making his first start as a 3-year-old there at the Rebel Stakes at Oakland Park. But that race was coming up pretty salty, and I think Shug McGahee took a look in the condition book and saw that, look, we can find an allowance for this horse that would fit in nicely. But Honor Code really came on the map in his debut. August 31st, it was a really sloppy racetrack there at Saratoga. And look at this running line. I mean, you're kidding me? 22 lengths back early and wins up the rail going away by 4.5. I mean, that's pretty much all you need to know about how much talent the horse has. Came back in the second start in the Grade 1 Champagne. Just came up a neck short to Havana, which we know that Havana is a really fast horse on the front end with a lot of upside for Todd Pletcher. And then the race that we just saw there in the Grade 2 Remsen, that was back in November 30th. So we're still waiting on that next start since November 30th and ended up winning by a dirty nose there along the inside with Javier Castellano and was your 4-5 favorite. So you look at the top side, I think this is really the storyline maybe from a breeding standpoint of the Derby is the fact that AP Indy, actually we'll go ahead and look at the tree right here, AP Indy on the top side has been such a prominent sire pretty much all over, all different distances, but for the most part, he's a regal, 2-turn, dirt type horse, being by Seattle Slew. Stormcat on the bottom side. But if you remember, AP Indy had some bad misfortune leading up to the Kentucky Derby back in 1992, had to scratch pretty much in the week leading up to the Run for the Roses, never got a chance even to compete for the Kentucky Derby. He came back later on that year to win the Belmont and to win the Breeders' Cup Classic. So AP Indy had the misfortune himself of not being able to compete for the Kentucky Derby, and since then, AP Indy has never sired a Kentucky Derby winner. Now, Honor Code essentially is his last shot. I mean, AP Indy was pensioned here recently, so this is his last crop, and Honor Code looks to be his most talented final son in this crop. So it kind of all hinges on Honor Code in terms of AP Indy making his mark in the Kentucky Derby. Taking a look here at the current point standings, and Honor Code checking in right now with 14 points. And, you know, Shug McGahee probably feels like with 14 points, he can afford to run in an allowance where obviously he's not going to get any points. But after that allowance, maybe a trip to the Wood Memorial back there at Aqueduct, which was the spot of that Remsen win that we just saw. So take a look at the top page of Kentucky Derby point standings as of now. And leading the way, another horse that might be heading towards the Wood Memorial, and Samrat there for Rick Violet. So at this point, 14 points for Honor Code. Obviously, he's going to need to do some work, but if he wins the allowance race, which it'll probably be somewhere in the ballpark of 1-5 or 2-5, then the next prep would probably be the Wood Memorial. And I just think that this horse, he just looks like a different animal. He's got that flair about him. Shug McGahee's talked about it quite a bit. And the way that he devastated that maiden field first time out, the sky's the limit. And I'm really anxious to see what he has to offer in that initial try versus 3-year-olds. I don't know what we're going to learn from the race. I mean, it's only an allowance. He's going to be a big favorite. But expecting a win and a pretty easy win at that. So We'll have to wait and see, but Honor Code, the very talented son of AP Indy, looking to give him his first Kentucky Derby winner.